Dear Sanghas and Dharma friends, for our meditation, we need to focus in the practice. And the practice is really simple. I ask the what of question to arise the doubt. We ask simply, normally, continuously, and diligently. We keep asking to maintain the doubt. The Tao is no discrimination thought. The Tao is the thought of beyond duality, beyond the relativity of the subjects and the objects. The Tao also helps us to not chasing after any form, sound, or any external world. And if we can maintain in the Tao this way, we won't be less astray by the open eye stream. So Pastor give an example about the closed eye stream. Like when we sleep, we have the dream. In the dream, we have like the reward, right? We have everything. In the body in the dream will have the feeling when it touch the hot or cold, encounter to the happiness or sadness. The body in the dream will experience everything. But when we wake up, the body in the dream disappear. The words in the dreams disappear. But we cannot find the body in the dream, but we know everything in the dream, right? We are experiencing about this. For the closed eye dream, we can wake up when we awake from sleep. But the open eye dream, we cannot awake if we don't practice. And we will keep sinking deep into the duality and sinking deep into the circle of birth and death. So for the open eye dream, we need to practice to awake our mind. By waking our mind from the open eye dream, we practice by astral the question to maintain it doubt. Closed eye dream is just one consciousness acting, but the open eye dream is will have two like the two consciousness acting at the same time. That's why we call the two consciousness simultaneously working. So when we say the two consciousness working, meaning because we being attached with self attachment for so solid, for so familiar. That's why when we encounter with the external condition, we will arise the self attachment, and everything will be arise, and we get supported from all the condition, and we get less get lost in duality. But we should know that even though we say there are so different consciousness, but actually it's created by illusion mind. That's why the Buddha said everything created by the mind. And this mind is illusion mind, the self-attachment mind. That's why we get lost in duality, and we cannot see our self nature. The poem explaining that When the mind acting create all different Dharma, that is the cause of the samsara. Because when illusion mind acting, it will create a bad deed, and that's causing us sink deep into samsara. So the self-attachment mind acting when there actually no self, but because of this illusion mind creating the self, and from the self we have so many different possession from of the self, and we arise so many discrimination thought and suffering with all of those thoughts. So now we practice Huatou meditation to help us to return back to our true self. The true self have no self attachment. And the true self is eliminate all of self-attachment, all of delusion, all of dualities. So if we have the complete trust in the mind this way, we will be able to practice diligently and uninterruptedly. Trust in the mind cannot just use the words to explain. Trust in the mind based on the practice, not based on words and languages. From the great Tao will bring us to the great Tao. From the great Tao will bring us to attaining Buddhahood. So the progress of practicing, we need to learn, get help from the wise teacher and our friends, which can encourage us, correcting us in the path, and we will be able to be success in our path. Now it's time for Q&A and sharing experience. If anyone has any question, please print it up. Namo Sakyamuni Buddha. Good like to invite sự cô Pháp Linh. Namo Sakyamuni Buddha. Dear Sanghas and Dharma friends, dear Thầy, I have a question. That's when the self-attachment and ignorance are eliminated, our illusion will be eliminated too. Would you explain more about this? Thầy respond that when we said lesson of illusion, it's just skillful mean to help us, to motivate us in practicing. Actually, when we get you to the practice, we will let go of the self-attachment and ignorance. So self-attachment and ignorance will become strange. If we don't practice, self-attachment and ignorance will arise even greater and will take over our mind. So when we say eliminate self-attachment and ignorance, doesn't mean that it's all gone. It's still there. If we don't practice, it will come back even greater. Therefore, Page said, our practice, the purpose of the practice is to attain in Buddhahood. Once we have not attained in Buddhahood, we will still be controlled by self-attachment and ignorance. So don't use the idea of one the self-attachment and ignorance eliminated 1%, and the Buddhahood will attain, will be awake 1%. That is the misunderstanding idea in here. We should know that once we have not awakened, we always be in control by the self-attachment and ignorance. So remember the 9 words, that nothing to gain, nothing to seek, nothing to fear. That will help us to practice on the right path of non-abiding. So we have to go beyond the relativity of the subjects and the objects. We have to go beyond duality. To be able to do that, we need to maintain the Tao. One, we chase after the objects and the subjects, meaning we lost the practice and we keep sink deep into the birth and death again. So word is just the temporary skillful mean. Word is not bringing us to the state of liberation. So we have to practice. Like what Zen Master said that to keep the practice become familiar and illusion becomes strange is also skillful mean to help us to keep on practice. So when the word arise, meaning our mind allowed to stop the practice and to chase after understanding. And that is the state of gap in our mind, and when we actually delay our practice. Therefore, we have to keep on practicing until to the state that there no thought can distract us. So this state is not the state that we created the image in our mind, the state of the mind get you to the practice. So therefore, likewise, and Master encourage us that to ask the what question clearly, continuously, to maintain the Tao consistently. Doesn't matter if there is the Tao arise or not, the Tao arise. Like what Zen Master keep asked his what question, like who reside in the Buddha name? And he asked clearly, slowly, continuously, that's way. So we asked ourselves, so don't reside in the question, trying to suppress other thought in our mind. Like ask so fast, ask so quick, ask so deliberately, like that. That is not the way. So there is an example when we lost something in our mind, we keep thinking about how and when and why we lost it, and how can we find it, and where can we find it. So that's why we said Auto meditation is the way we investigate in our mind. The idea of practicing diligently and uninterruptedly is the idea we invest in our mind. So the idea of to practice to not attach into anything else. And we just ask the what question to maintain the Tao. We don't need to run anywhere, running around, finding something, looking for something. If we keep seeking for anything in the practice, that we also fall into duality. So to practice in the correct way, we need to practice with non-self-attachment. And non-self-attachment is nothing to gain, nothing to seek, nothing to fear. If we still sticking for something, still want to see of something, or want to feel of something, we should know we still in duality. The Tao will be the way bring us to the path, to the state of purify, and there's no differentiation thought when we get to the state of right doubt. So all the words or the suggestion from the wise teacher and Dharma friends will help us to keep continuing to ask the what of question, maintaining doubt consistently, and gradually we will attain in Buddhahood, clear our own self. So ask the what of question, maintaining doubt, and not allow any external world can controlling us or affecting us. Really appreciate your teaching. Would like to invite Miss Bích, Namo Sakyamuni Buddha, dear Sanghas and Dharma friends. Dear Thầy, this morning at my house had some problem. My big brother got accident on the way to come home. Now he in the hospital, and the condition kind of really serious. I heard that. I heard the news from the policeman call me, and I felt so lost and really worried. But at that time, I was really worried. I lost the practice because I didn't know what happened to my brothers. And now I carry a serious uh, sickness too. So that's why I really sincerely in practice, and I feel I kind of deliciously in practice. But when I heard the news from my big brother got accident, I couldn't practice. I lost control, and I listened to the teaching of Wellis and Master to help my mind to calm down. And I know that when I have that problem, I know that illusion mind controlling me, but I still could not uh, keep continuing to practice. And now I still feel worried. I need your help motivating me to keep continuing to practice. Thank you, Thầy. This is the true experience for all of us. So we know everything, but we cannot do that. That is our bad karmic energy being with us for so long. So, and we know that we have this physical body is our cell, and everything related to this physical body is all our own problems. Even though we know the body Dharma for so long and practicing the Buddha Dharma for so long, but we still cannot control in our mind when we encounter with any bad situation. Even though we know that we already make a commitment to practice diligently to awake ourselves from the self-attachment, but when we encounter with some unfavorable condition, we lost the practice. And when we encounter with some disaster condition and we use the practice to suppress our emotion, we actually create another layer of illusion on top of this current layer illusion. When we lost the practice, we so scared and we want to listen to what listen master teaching and suppress our emotion. That's also the reaction of illusion. Sometimes we may feel we overcome our illusion, but actually we just using illusion to suppress the current illusion. And it may go by a little bit and we think that we may overcome it, but actually it's still there because we're still in the dream. There's no other different way. Just ask the vital question to maintain the doubt. Doesn't matter if we are encountered with so difficulty thing. We have to solve all of this problem. We have to think about this. We have to worry about it. It's okay. Just keep doing that, but don't forget to practice. Sometimes we worry too much because of our self-attachment, but actually thing is not really serious that way. But because of self-attachment, we worry too much. We exaggerate things. But what can we do? Just don't worry about that. Just keep practice. Ask the question clearly and diligently, like before the heaven and the earth come to existence, what was I? Because keep asking consistently, and we know that that is our brothers got accident, right? He's still our brothers. He got accident. Yes, he got accident. Then what can we do? Just keep on practicing, and worry or thinking about him is okay, you know. So before we practice, we actually worry more, but we didn't recognize that. And we tell people that we don't worry, but actually inside of us, we worry all the time. So it's really normal. So don't worry about that. Even when we heard the bad news, we pass out. It's okay too, because it's the reaction of this, the physical body. But in our mind, we always keep on remember practicing, because having this body, that is our karmic, our karma. When we have the karma, we carry on this karma, the karmic body. We have to be with it, right? We cannot deny that. That's why we need to practice. So taking advantage of having this body to keep on practicing until we awaken ourselves from this self-attachment. Then once we attain in Buddhahood, we will control our mind from all the birth and death. So don't try to use word from the Buddha, word from the wise teacher to suppress our emotion. If we trying to ignore the condition what happening to us, that is not the way. The way of practicing is we always remember to keep on practice in all the situation, in all the environment. Just like we eating, we still practice. When we sleeping, we practice. We walking, we practice. Now we thinking, we keep practice too. Not different. So don't need to arise any more worrying, any more suffering. Do you understand? Yes, I do. Thank you, thầy. Good like to invite Miss Tâm. Dear Thầy, dear Sanghas and Dharma friends, via Miss Bit sharing, For myself, uh, when I encounter with some unfavorable condition, I just sit down and I know I lost the practice at that moment, but I sit down, I calm my mind, understand the situation, and knowing that everything is not real, and come back to the practice. So when I using this contemplation idea, when I encounter with an favorable condition and come back to the practice, is that okay? So thầy responding that that is automatically happening in our mind when we sincerely and practicing. But for bad condition, it's different. She knew that she lost her practice. She knew that she's still being controlled by the ignorant and self-attachment. Actually, her condition familiar with your condition too. So when we truly practice, we automatically have this contemplation in our mind. Seeing thing is not real. Seeing thing life is so suffering. Seeing thing that we are still in the dream. So that is the true contemplation of what the Buddha is teaching us in all the sutra. So when we have this contemplation in our mind, we will be able to return back to practice. The most important that we have to keep on practicing diligently and uninterruptedly, practice naturally, practice normally. Don't just use the practice to suppress our emotion, to deny, to help us to turn back our mind from the condition. That's it, not a correct way. But if we just remember that practicing to help us to go on the path of liberation, practicing in the way to help us to return back to our home, because we know we lost our home from their self-attachment. So they'll just use the practice to suppress our emotion. So our practice is the way to awake ourselves from the open eye dreams. So when we end up all the ignorance and self-attachment, all of illusion will disappear. That's why when a person comes to the pastor, said, "What is suffering?" The pastor answers, "Suffering is no form." But then the practitioner asks, "What is the no form?" And the pastor responds, "No form is suffering." So when the practitioner who practice on a correct way, right there, he good attaining Buddhahood. For us, the purpose of practicing, we need to practice to attaining Buddhahood and direct our mind to their state of mind and keep continuing to practice by asking the what question to maintain in doubt. And all of the contemplated idea in our mind, it will automatically appear to help us, to guide us, to control our mind from not sink deep into sufferings. So there's no right or wrong in here. That is just experience in the progress of practicing. We will walk through of those state of mind. Do you understand? I do. Thank you, thầy. I have another question, but we run out of time. We end the session for now. We'll continue in this tomorrow morning. Goodbye, everyone. Namo Sakyamuni Buddha.